Good morning, Chairman Bernanke. Thank you for joining us today. I'm eager to hear your thoughts about our financial situation. The Congressional Budget Office new outlook confirms that our deficit will top $1 trillion for the fourth consecutive year. We've never seen anything like that. In just 3 years, we've accumulated almost $5 trillion in gross debt, during which time the total number of Americans actually working has decreased by 1.2 million people. So we have fewer people working today than we did 11 years ago. Actual working Americans is down. That goes across administrations of both parties. The deficit we face in the out years, the next decade, are even more relentless and systemic. Federal spending in real dollars has increased 53% in 10 years, while real wages for the average American have declined 7%. The government is getting bigger, and the middle class is getting smaller. The problem I have, the concern I'm wrestling with, is that even our financial experts are often very wrong as to the danger facing the American people and our economy. Yet, some in Washington and Wall Street tell us we should delay reforms and not take action now, only some vague date in the future. For example, the Secretary of the Treasury, Geithner's comments at the Federal Reserve meetings in 2006 seemed to me to indicate that we can't always be sure that those in positions of leadership see the problem clearly. In 2006, as America verged on a massive housing meltdown, now Secretary Geithner, then president of the New York Federal Reserve, told his colleagues that, quote, "We just don't see troubling signs yet of collateral damage, and we're not expecting much," close quote. 2 months later, he was announcing that, quote, "The fundamentals of the expansion going forward still look good." Janet Yellen, president of the San Francisco Reserve Bank, was perhaps even more enthusiastic when Chairman Greenspan left. She beamed, quote, "It's fitting for Chairman Greenspan to leave office with the economy in such solid shape. The situation you're handing off to your successor is a lot like a tennis racket with a gigantic sweet spot," close quote. So I also recall in 2001, then Chairman Greenspan testifying before this committee that we were looking at more than a decade of surpluses, and he wrestled with the question of what we would do after we've completely paid down our debt, what we would do with the surplus still coming into the Treasury as being projected at that time. I'm just saying we're not always as good at predicting the future as we'd like to be. So they were wrong. The minutes show that you were wrong during some of these periods also. Common sense tells us, at least tells me, that more borrowing and more debt will make us weaker, not stronger. As the last financial crisis proves, the future is hard to predict, but while we can't predict a day a debt crisis would erupt or what unknown event might set it off, we do know that we're on a collision course with reality. The longer we wait to change that course, to develop a plan for a sensible financial future, the graver the danger becomes. Yet our majority leader has closed the ship's bridge and locked the wheel. He says the Democratic Senate will decline to offer a budget resolution for the third straight year. Not once has this occurred since the Congressional Budget Act was passed in 1974. So I'm glad that Chairman Conrad has indicated he will mark up a budget in committee, but the markup will be a doomed exercise if your own floor leader, majority leader, decrees that the budget process will be shut down. Majority Leader Reid has effectively declared a Senate Democrat budget and the President's budget dead on arrival. To me, that if we don't have a different approach, then the majority party is failing in the fundamental requirement of leadership and basically asks that their leadership be taken from them. Producing a good budget is important. The President's budget submission on Monday will also be a defining test. Either the President will rise to the occasion or he will again shirk his duties and accelerate our dangerous debt course. The choice is his. I find it beyond imagining that the President, at this critical time in our nation's economic life, will not lay out a serious budget plan for a future that will get us off this unsustainable debt path, a path to decline. But he did not even mention this in his third State of the Union address, the danger of the debt, what his chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Admiral Mullen, called the greatest threat to our national security. Alice Rivlin in Kiplinger's recently was very critical of the President's lack of leadership. Real change will not occur without the leadership of the President. And he has not only not led, but he attacked those like brilliant Congressman Paul Ryan, who has led or tried to lead. We must hope the President's proposal, his budget, will at this late date lay out a plan to change our unsustainable debt course. Based on history, I'm not optimistic. So we are in a difficult challenge. We have faced a number of difficult problems. I am hopeful that the President's budget will do what a budget should do, lay out a sound course for America's financial future. It has not yet. His last year's budget did not do that, but I hope he will this year. I'm not confident. Mr. Chairman, thank you for letting me share those remarks. Chairman Bernanke, value your opinion, and it can help us work our way through the most dangerous systemic debt challenge I believe the nation's ever faced. Thank you.